Reverend Katrina King, Southwest District clergy, Asian female, diversity, equity, and inclusion strategist for the Louisiana Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church. So first, before we get started on my report, I do want to report out some numbers from yesterday. I monitored both plenary sessions and combined those numbers together. So here's how we did. Yesterday, we had 22 males speak and 14 females speak. We had 23 white folks speak. We had 9 African American or Black folks speak, and we had 2 Asians speak. We had 21 elders, 6 at-large delegates, 4 local pastors, 4 laity, 3 deacons, 2 retired clergy, and 1 guest. And we had 9 over the age of 65, 11 between 50 and 65, 4 between 40 and 50, 8 between 30 and 40, and then we had 4 in a young adult category, which probably means younger than 30. So I'm excited to see that we're very diverse across all of the folks that we've heard from, the different perspectives. It's real important to me to see that our conference is hearing from people of different places and spaces, and I hope that you all are proud of that as well. So switching hats to my actual report, you can find my report in the supplemental document, page 28. I hope that you've read it, but I will just go through a few high-level takeaways. Particularly, I am relatively new to this role. I started working in this post in November, so we're taking baby steps as we go, as we try to figure out what is needed for this type of work, where we are as an annual conference, and maybe where we'd like to be one day, and in a minute I'll have you help me with that. But first, I just want to highlight some takeaways that I've found as needs for work in our annual conference. Firstly, we need updated, clearer demographic data of the conference, and I'm proud to say that we have leaned heavily into obtaining a lot of this over the past few weeks, and I'm really excited to start there. But this is because we need to know who we are again. It's always nice to get a reality check of who we are, who our people are, where they are, what they're doing, and how they participate. And I just have data from everybody that was registered for annual conference, so that's just a starting point. But it's clear to me that we need to go further and learn about who's in our churches, who's in our communities, and things like that. There's a need for opportunities to hold conversations about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and what those things mean. So I am looking for people, places, spaces to have those conversations. Maybe it's a Sunday school class, maybe it's a small group, maybe it's just a couple people that are interested. I want to hear from you. There is a need for training in intercultural competency, which is being able to shift cultural perspectives and adapt to different cultural differences and commonalities when you're interacting with people of different cultures. So we all could do a better job of learning about what that's like, and maybe things that we don't realize we're doing and things that we may be doing that might be harmful to others. And we also need to prepare churches and clergy and anyone that might be in a pulpit for cross-cultural appointments. We also need reconciliation and acknowledgement of racial segregation in our communities and in our churches. And if our clergy have nothing to say about injustices in our churches and in the world, then who does? Who will? So that's the tough stuff as a starting point. But I also want to share some wins. I'm excited that we were recently awarded a grant from the Global Ministries to create a People Like Me retreat. And my vision for this retreat in the fall or early next year is to host a 2-day event focused on a lot of these things: intercultural competency, skill building workshops, intercultural development inventory assessments, which again helps with understanding perspectives and commonalities and differences, courageous conversations about the hard stuff. What are our lived experiences, separately and together? Conflict resolution, opportunities for storytelling, and more. So I'm excited that that will be coming. Keep an eye out for those things. I think it's a really encouraging step to be able to host something like this in our annual conference. It is focused on our annual conference and our people, so we're going to start there and maybe just maybe, that could be something larger that other people could attend in the future as well. Now that is my report, but I need your help before I go. So I have 2 quick questions for the group, and they're going to be interactive, so I do need you to get your phone out and get it ready. And while you do that, I want to talk just for a minute about beloved community. You've heard that from our anti-racism task force, beloved community, and I want to remind you about what that means and what that vision is. So Josiah Royce first conceived the beloved community concept, but later Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. popularized it during the Civil Rights Movement. Now, Dr. King envisioned the beloved community to be a global movement where the agape love of God would be the driving force to redemption and reconciliation, and a place where all people can share in the abundance of wealth in the world. And in the beloved community, all forms of discrimination, bigotry, and dehumanization are eradicated and countered by a more inclusive, interdependent existence of people who live in nonviolent harmony with one another. So what I want to know, and I'm going to have the tech team help me out with a Mentimeter, I want to know, what is one word that describes the beloved community to you? Oh, the staff is in the way of the QR code. I will have the bishop move it. I am afraid to touch it. So you can scan the QR code, or you can go to menti.com, which is MENTI.com. And once you get there, I'll read you a number, which is 6643-9275. And so some people are getting it, so we know it's working. If you need that number again, it's 6643-9275. And I just want to know one word that makes you think of what beloved community means. So the words might be small, but I'm seeing love, compassion, imago Dei, harmony, grace, sibling, equity, everyone, inclusion. Oh, it's moving too fast now. Relationship, acceptance, representation. Love is the biggest word, which means more than one person saying love. Grace, inclusion, acceptance, welcoming. This is wonderful. Encompassing, understandable, improving, peace, belong. And we've had 141 responses so far and counting, so this is wonderful. I'll give you one more minute to get your words in. I see hope in there. Family, justice. This is good. It probably will keep going all day if I don't put an end to it, but we have 226 responses to 230. What I will do is, when it's all said and done, I will make sure that we take this word cloud and I will make a post about it, or we'll send it out somewhere. Maybe we can work with Todd and William over there in communications to make sure that this is shared with you all, because I think this is really encouraging. But this is just what we perceive the beloved community to be. My next slide is, how can we work towards beloved community in the Louisiana Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church? And so this is going to be a new Mentimeter. It's also going to have a QR code that you can scan in 1 second. Sorry, Bishop.
Oh, you're fine.
We're going to wait till they put it on the screen. But this is your opportunity to give me ideas, because I need vision from you all, because you are part of the beloved community. I need to know what you're thinking, what we can work on better, and that will help give me ideas for the future, and maybe we can actually execute some of those things with your help. How's it going back there, guys? we getting it? We're getting a no? Well, yeah, I think that would be appropriate, Bishop, to have people from the mic give a few comments. Bishop.
Jim Reed, white, male, Arcadia. What else am I supposed to say?
Are you clergy or lay?
You have a question?
Or retired? Okay, perfect.
You have a question?
And I also working, but thanks. I just wanted to know, can you put the QR codes on all 3 screens? Because my phone won't get it at that angle. I mean, if it's just me, it's all right, but
Can they
No,
put
I
it,
promise
that would be
in
helpful.
guideposts?
I appreciate it.
Can they put it in guideposts?
Yeah, well, I got a partner that helps me, but, you know, I just think it might help. I don't know. But thanks.
Thank you. And what I can do is I can make sure that
Oh, there it
QR
is. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, this is the second one.
It's yeah.
What I can do is the QR code will stay open for a couple days, so we can make sure that it gets emailed out, so anyone can do it from their computer, from their phone, anything like that later. Okay, so this is the second one. How can we work towards beloved community in the Louisiana Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church? If you have an idea, scan this QR code, and then... Sorry, I had to throw a wrench in the stage setting. There we go. Equipping everyone with resources and having tough dialogue, taking the time to authentically listen, honoring the agency of others, build relationships, salary equity among BIPOC clergy, diverse gatherings, hard conversations. And we're not going to be able to see all this stuff because I'm sure we have lots of feedback, but I will do the same thing. I will leave this open for a couple days, and I will aggregate all of this data so that we can see what it says. But I'll give y'all just one more minute to get that done. And I'll be honest, not everybody is great at thinking on their feet. So if you need a couple days to think about this and have good ideas, like, I'm going to give you my contact information shortly. One more minute. Okay. We have 100 responses. This is going to stay open even if it's not on the screen, so keep adding. The number is 1206-8763. 1206-8763. Like I said, we'll send it out in an email to make sure that everyone gets it. Hopefully we can work with the comms team on that. But I do want to thank everyone for being participatory. It's real important to me doing this work.
Okay, microphone 5.
Good morning, Loretta Clark, St. Peter Charge in Clinton, Louisiana. Female, African American, retired, love everybody. A question. So many of our initiatives are moving forward, and I'm very excited. There's one issue that comes about being in a rural community. We don't have access to the internet. There's so many communications that are sent out to us that we don't receive. They say, well, you can use your home. Well, that's me getting the communication, but my congregations are not getting the communications. There needs to be some way of reaching out to our rural areas when it comes to communication, because we want to be involved, but just me saying it to a person, they need to have some type of way of getting it directly from the conference. And I think they would feel a little bit more involved if they were able to have that to occur. Thank you.
Okay. Continue.
Thank you for sharing that. We will work on a variety of ways to reach you in different formats that make sense. So this really brings me to my call to action piece, which you've heard a little bit of it. Essentially, I'm looking for people, places, spaces, small groups, Sunday school classes, maybe churches in the same town that want to have a conversation or in the same district. I am interested in hearing from people that are interested in this type of work, or perhaps you've struggled with this work in the past and want to learn more. And that's all I'm asking for, openness to learn and be a little vulnerable with one another in this process. So if you would like to contact me, you can email me directly at katrinaking@laumc.org. And I would love to hear from you. If you want to do monitoring next year, like I'm doing, so I don't have to do it all by myself, I would love to have people volunteer, so reach out for me so we can find ways to plug you into this work. I promise there's a lot of it to be done. So I just thank you for your time today and for your patience and learning and acceptance. Thank you.